happy Tuesday. I know this is probably going to be posted in the afternoon, so I'll say happy afternoon on this Tuesday. And I know Oklahoma fans watching this, you are buzzing after a big win in Lincoln. Let's get into some of that. But I'm going to be driving this, and I'm going to share some things as well. But I'm going to be driving this more in the direction of these are the things that are going to carry over probably throughout the rest of the season. Because I think, as many of you that have gone back and watched this game have realized, this is about one of the worst defenses I've watched. And I got through the 2018 OU defense, and that was better than this. And so let's dive right into it. I'm going to kind of let some plays start off from the get-go, and probably need to turn off the volume. But I'm going to let some plays kind of just roll through and talk about some of the things that happened. So Oklahoma really dove into the RPOs are going to be there, and we have found some run game that's going to have some success, right? So obviously you see on this first play, get some yardage, as you guys saw last week, right? A little bit of Y insert. So as we get through these videos, I'm going to stop pointing the stuff out so we can make these videos a lot quicker. But just notice Braden Willis and how he's going inside, picking the hole to block. Real easy. Good yardage. Yeah, as I said, so you start to see the RPO stuff will show up here pretty quickly. Like, you can tell, and this isn't the first time they ran this play either. So Oklahoma's got quads into the boundary. So you got a guy here, guy here, guy here, and you have him as well. So Marvin Mims should be covered up. So because he's covered up by him, Marvin Mims has to not go beyond the line of scrimmage. He also can't get a forward pass. So if the ball is going to come to him, it has to be backwards. And they did this twice against Nebraska. I'll point it out at the next time they do it. But I definitely think that it's going to be something, those gadget plays in each and every big game. They'll probably throw one or two. You guys saw a running pass. So they've got the defense stuff going underneath here. So you didn't get to see all this much. And I want to see which corner this is on the bottom. If that's Tommy Hill, if it ever pops up into the picture again. But I think it's Tommy Hill down here to the bottom. Number 0, which Oklahoma fans will remember, because I think that's number 6 to the top. And this is super important. I wouldn't be doing this. Yeah, number 6 is up here. That's the other corner. So this is Tommy Hill. They attack him for most of the game. They found some success there. Quentin Newsome, too. However, do want to point out, we can kind of break this thing down off the get-go. You did see Dylan Gabriel miss some throws on Saturday against Lincoln, and this is certainly one of them. So the second guy that's playing a second high safety here comes down. And so Oklahoma's playing with tempo, and when you play with tempo, you don't get the whole picture of what the defense is running. So Oklahoma is going to run something we've seen Lincoln Riley run. I don't know what the tight end is doing, but just more speaking on the receivers here. Like I said, Marvin Mims is ineligible, so he's going down the field. Sorry, that's not a straight line for those that have OCD. And he's running a dig, right? He's coming back. I would imagine he is running something across here, right? So what all Oklahoma is trying to do, and I may need to switch off from red, so I will do that. So all Oklahoma is attempting to do here is, if they're in too high, right, that they have something carrying. If this safety was back here, they have something carrying it back that way, right? Well, he's not. And so if you already can eliminate that, if this safety is staying on this side of the field, you trust your wide receiver to win against this corner. This dig should be there. And if you guys didn't have the depth chart in front of you for the Cornhusker defense, you can see it a little bit in here, right? So all Nebraska is going to do is they're going to flip, and they're going to rotate the safety back. You see these guys are having communication issues already. That's very, very important to note. But he's going to rotate back, and Theo Weiss's route here is going to carry him down the field, right? So that dig route on the backside or on the front that he's looking at should be open right now, right? And you'll see Jalil Farouk come open, everybody's trailing, and this turns into a sack. So little things like this, obviously, heading into the rest of the season, definitely things to know. So here's where you're first going to see the RPO come into the picture, and not because that this is a pass play, but watch this safety. So when OU's in the box here, right, when the offensive coordinator and they have a support staff guy on the field charting this, or they have someone spotting this out, they're going to run this play, and they like to run this on the front side. what they typically, at least what Jeff Levy liked to do at Ole Miss, is he would T-fold this. So he'd be kicking out. Come on, work with me here. So Anton Harrison would be kicking out, blocking down. Or no, sorry. Oh, that's why they counted this. But what they typically would do to get this safety to come up even more is he'd block down, he'd kick out, and you pull that tackle around, right? So you have that safety's got a nice, juicy run fit to come up and get. So now watch this play. And this is they ran this this is nothing new. They ran this at Oklahoma last year as well. They're just running a same side counter, and they're pulling, and they're acting like with the H, they're acting like he's coming this direction, he's going to counter backside. This was a good run play for them on Saturday. Doesn't become a tackle here because you've got the corner blitzing or the safety coming in to make a play, right? And they got a safety to come in to make the play. I'm going to speed through this as we get through here, but just watch the safety and then watch this space behind him. He makes this play, and Oklahoma is going to punish him for it later on. So get to the first third down. It's 3rd and 12. Fox guys had a rough day with the graphics. This play doesn't work. You got pretty good coverage. Quinn Newsome's a good player. They do not attack him. You have some issues up front. You just had a stunt, and you had pressure to get there, right? So these guys, this mug player, I want to make sure I said that right, I believe, are going this direction. He's folding around. These guys are just going straight. Those guys were going straight, and they're going to be able to get to the quarterback. They just don't pass these guys over. Like Andrew Rain, they should be passing these guys over, communicating, picking this up. And there's really actually nothing open as it is, even on the coach's cut. So I'm just going to speed through this. I do think you got a pretty good punt from Michael Turk. No, it was not as good as normal, but they flipped the field. Oklahoma's had some of the best field position so far defensively. So it's no surprise it's going to change. So here's the 3-3-5. So this is what's so fun about the 3-3-5 and what you can do with that. And I went through this last year through the keyhole. But I'm definitely going to talk about it a little bit right now. It just gives you options what you can do. So you have a 5-man box here. So if you want to get this corner committed in the run game, well, look, now you have a safety here. You could push him over. You could have him line up a little bit further outside in case it's a run. So there's one option, right? So now you have 6 guys committed. Oh, look, if we want to use our corner, if we want to use this apex player, well, they're committed to the run. Oh, we also want to have Billy Bowman committed to the run. We can do that as well. So it's a 5-man box, and this is the stuff Kent State was doing a week ago. It's a 5-man box. You have 8 guys that can be committed. Heck, you could even do some interesting stuff with this in coverage, right? Where you have options. You could just drop into basic cover 3. He could be manned up. He can be falling underneath, and he could be playing. They could be doing some match patterning up there, all that stuff. He could be coming out. He could be dropping back, right? And so there's a lot of stuff you can do. Because if you want to bring Billy Bowman up, you could drop him back into the deep middle. You could go this direction and this direction. If you want to blitz somebody, right? Say if you want to blitz Justin Broyles here and get him committed to the run game on this backside in case, right? Well, you can just rotate that direction. You can rotate that direction. You can rotate this direction. You could have him kick way far out there. You can go this direction. And go that direction as well, right? So there's a lot of stuff that they can do out of a 3-high look. But the key here is what you can do is you can fudge the numbers a little bit where, oh, we've got a 5-man box. Well, next thing you know, you've got 8 guys committed to the run game, right? So that's the advantage you can get by doing this. And they run some just quick and easy pass game stuff. I've talked about this. It's hard I'm going to get to some moments of, things have got to be better, this and that. But overall, good performance. They did give up some yards and should have given up some more. Nebraska just didn't execute. So at some point, right? So now you look at, they've got too high with Devon Harmon way back here. Like, these guys have got to be committed to the run, right? This is whenever Iowa State was in the early days of running this, that this would happen where, they're going to block down, block down, block down, block down, right? And then these guys are going to come this direction, this direction, this direction as to go with the flow. And so if you don't get one of these defenders committed to the run, the running back can take it and slip it backside, right? You see this in football all the time, specifically at the NFL level. So that's the challenge that they have, and I'm sure they'll clean this up as we go throughout the week. And even there's the case, right, that they may not even run this against Kansas State. They've shown a 4-man front against 11 personnel. When I was pointing out that they were in a 3-man, it was whenever they had a tight end on the field, Kent State or UTEP. So no surprise, Nebraska plays with bigger personnel. That's what you're going to get. So early on, you can see they start the blitz immediately, right? They give up a big yards, which it can happen, but they do a good adjustment. You won't see Oklahoma the rest of the day commit typically less than 6, and you can see that this is a stunt, right? You can see that they're stunting. So Aguebu's going this direction, and man, I can't get the drawing on here for some reason, but Aguebu's going this direction and Stutzman going around, right? So they start stunting and twisting and doing some different things, and you have Desean White's coming in to be to help with run fit on the backside. So they start to do some things, and that's why this screen goes for forever, right? Because the play call, they had Desean White blitzing. Well, look, now that it's 2-on-2 out here blocking, that's pretty good. Could have even been an RPO. It was an RPO. So really good job by Casey Thompson. And again, they pick up some more yards. As you guys can see, 5-man box. If Nebraska is going to kick down, you've got to have more guys committed to the run here. So on this backside, one of these guys has to be screaming. It's 2nd and 1. I know you're okay with giving that up. You don't want to give up a touchdown, but those guys got to be screaming, or this can happen. Good tackle here by Billy Bowman, by the way. Really good form tackle. He had, I thought, a really good Saturday. Nothing like when you need to generate a negative play to have the offense that you're playing get a false start. Again, they're in their 3-high look, right? So how this play comes open, this is how Lincoln Riley got his stuff open all the time against this 3-high look. You just run Y cross. You get these guys to bite. You have a 1-on-1 right here. And Nebraska's wide receiver was better than Damon Harmon on this play. Well, the tight end didn't necessarily run a Y cross here, so I don't want to. I mean, this is an awful play design. I mean, they didn't get this safety to pull anywhere, right? Because he needs to be running a vertical too. Because if he's not running a vertical, this Justin Broyles about made this play, and you're kind of giving him an opportunity to. Yeah, I don't get that play design. That was way too difficult. But there's the Nebraska touchdown. As I mentioned earlier, just look at how this is how these guys operate, right? So they're going to run this play on 1st down. Nebraska hasn't seen it quite yet. You have 2 tight ends on the field for the first time, from what I can remember, in 12 personnel with Parker and Willis. Watch this play side safety. He's going back there committing somebody, right? But if they weren't blitzing this guy, he's probably committed to the run, right? Regardless, you've got a ton of space up in here. And you see Marvin Mims. That's an easy pitch and catch. So let's go to the very next play. Oh, look, same thing. They're in single high. That safety commits. It's open. And Oklahoma's off to the races when they figured that out. Tyler Guyton came out after this play. I'm assuming it's because of this. So you've got Chris Murray, Andrew Rame. These are terrible. All these guys are blocking down, right? But it's not just Guyton either. You have Daniel Parker on this side are blocking that direction, right? So something happened up here up front. And that's why this play ended up being a TFL. And Wanye Morris replaced Tyler Guyton after this. On the next drive. So this drive's kind of finishing up. This is pretty fancy. About turned into a fumble. The timing wasn't all that great. And then here comes the long run. And it's 14. It's now 7-7. Awful angle by that guy. Dylan Gabriel's outrunning Nebraska's defense, which is not good. Tie ball game. So this is where Nebraska's offensive line is at. You've got Reggie Grimes lined up in a 4-eye. So just outside, inside the tackle, just inside the guard, right? On the inside shoulder of the tackle. Watch him right here, right? This is a guard. Reggie Grimes, again, 75, 270, somewhere in that range, to maybe even lighter than that. He just lifts him up and sets the edge. The right tackle cannot even kick out the corner. So 2nd and 2. Can't happen. And even better, you get Oklahoma slanting to the left a little bit too on the backside. It's perfect. So you get into 3rd and 4. And this, you guys saw it happen live. Again, just too much space. I mean, he should be sitting down in there. I don't know what the play call was. I think it was an end breaker as it is, and Casey was just late. Like, that's my opinion. But at the same time, I don't know the play. That's just too much space on 3rd and 4. And Nebraska punts this, and it's the most. I can't believe they punted with how bad their defense is. So he's saying, again, Joel Klatt was saying he should have sat this down. I haven't watched Nebraska enough to see this play before to know, but I thought it was just a little bit late. So just too much space. Here we go. Safety at the top of the screen. They're probably going to go counter here into the boundary. Or they do Y insert. They didn't do counter. Same thing. All they're trying to do is get this play side safety to crash down. They go split zone to do it, and it's open. I thought Quinn Newsom did a good job here. Theo Weiss is there. I mean, it was gonna be there the entire game after the first drive, and Oklahoma knew it. They punted and got a 3 and out. What can you do? I mean, is what it is. Nebraska played this pretty good. So this is sort of the issue with, at times, when you're stunting, when you go to light box and you want to stunt and twist. And that's what, obviously, people were mad with Alex Grinch a year ago. Well, they blitz here. They do a run blitz here. And it just kind of takes some players out of the play, right? So because Nebraska's trying to get inside. So Oklahoma's going to stunt here, right? It looks like they're going to slant right, bring Stutzman over, and go Guebu on the backside. Again, I'm not going to sit here and act like I know the plays, and even to you guys, the terminology is not really all that important. So they're going to do that, and Nebraska's able to get a big explosive on it, right? So that's the gamble that you play. And they got into 2nd and 5. It's kind of blocked down. Key Lawrence makes a really, really good play here and run defense. I mean, look at him trigger downhill. See, that's the stuff you want to see out of your safety. Ball snapped. Look at Key Lawrence coming downhill. So they have 7. They committed Desean White. When you have the numbers, 2nd and 5 doesn't turn into an explosive, and you get a chance to get off the field on 3rd down, right? It was there. Ethan Downs just blows this up. Look at Ethan Downs. Watch Ethan Downs. Gets right inside the tackle. Everybody's there to make a play, and it happens. But again, I mean, this is what now the third drive for Nebraska that's inside the 40, their own 40. So on this play alone, what I thought, I was pretty surprised they didn't take advantage of this. So they're going to rotate these guys, right? So on the coach's cut, what you can see is Key Lawrence is rotating back. Damon Harmon's going that direction. Damon Harmon, I think they run like a safety over the top. I said I'd get rid of the White, so I'm going to do that. This is going to be weird. But he's going to motion in, and he's going to run that direction, right? So he's going to motion in and go that direction. It's pretty open. So you have Harmon's coming this direction, and there's a guy that's open on this backside. It's a great view here, right? But there's some pressure here, and that's why Casey Thompson forced to stop. But, I mean, it's there. He elects to get this out there and not lose yardage or take a sack, but it's there. There's nothing open here. And, I mean, just not really the best play call. And the left tackle getting beat by Desean White, probably not good. See if we can see anything here. Good job there. Again, nothing open. Offensive line can't protect. Nobody can break off. 3rd and 12. You have the right tackle gets caught. He steps on the right guard right here. So they get crossed up, their legs do, and it allows Jonah Lualu to get around them. See that little hitch by the right tackle right here? Just gets his leg caught by the right guard. That's how you get a sack. You can see it right here. Watch the right tackle right now. Gets his leg caught. Whoop. Bad. And again, on that 3rd down, you had some space to throw, right? It's bad. Look at all this space. Ooh. I mean, just look at all this space right here. If they can do anything to pull this linebacker in, look at the space. Ridiculous. Later in this drive, just watch Drake Stoops, man. He just makes winning football plays. Look at this release to win. 3rd and 6, have to have it. Crowd's going crazy. They're still in it. Great blitz pickup by Marcus Major. Got to give credit to that for keeping this play alive. And then Drake Stoops wins at the line of scrimmage. Number 8's slow. So Nebraska does have a safety over the top. Again, Oklahoma playing with tempo. You get a double move on Tommy Hill, and Jalil Farouk wins. And Oklahoma's off to the races. Again, one way to be able to get more in the run game when you have your corner committed to the run. And look at Kenny Walker. He sees it. He knows he's a run defender to help out. Bam. 2nd and 11, and I'm assuming Casey Thompson thought he had what he had on the last drive, right? Nobody's running the same routes. Look at all this space up here at the top right of the screen. And you see the coach up here. It's things you can pick up on. See the coach up here in the black shirt? I think that might have been Mickey Joseph. Yeah, he's telling him he ran the wrong route. 3rd and 11, nightmare. They just do another stunt, right? And Nebraska doesn't pick it up. Like Reggie Grimes does such a good job here. Look at Reggie Grimes, inside move, get in there, get penetration, let Jalen Redmond come around free, and it's a sack. Not good. And this is one of those plays where you can make a better throw, but I'm noting it from the purpose of they're going to run this at some point this year. They did it with their Ole Miss backs a lot. They're going to run this at some point. These guys, watch Eric Gray. Watch Eric Gray. See how he cuts him off. One of these days, they're going to be able to pull this. Braden Willis, the safety over the top of him's biting, and that's going to be open right up the chute. It wasn't, and I think Dylan Gabriel was waiting for that to happen. A little late, a little high, but watch the back. A little switch concept from both of them. This is really well designed, right? So the hope that Oklahoma's having was that whenever they motion Marvin Mims across, that he follows. It looks like Eric Gray's coming up the block. He goes up the chute. This safety here is rotating back with Willis, and this thing's open on the backside. Corner would probably be way too wide to even it matter to be up the seam. They do a really good job. This is really well designed. This is going to drive them crazy on the film room on Sunday, but watch Jaleel Farouk on this linebacker. This block has to be made. I mean, you have a pretty good, you're condensed closer to the line of scrimmage or to the tackle for a reason. You're tight in this gap here or the alignment. You should be able to get there. And look at Jaleel Farouk. He's like, yeah, that's my man. Got to get there. So if you get there right now, Braden Willis, you guys have seen Eric Gray run. If you get there, Eric Gray's got a one-on-one this safety, and there is no one else out there. Just one block. That's all you needed. This is so well designed. You're seeing this in the NFL more. I'm going to point this out at some point on Twitter today probably. But Marvin Mims lined up in the backfield. Doesn't look like ever that Nebraska was prepared for it. And Marvin Mims, and they're going to act like they're running split zone out of split back. Ends up being almost a touchdown. Fun stuff. Watch the linebackers from Nebraska on this goal line. This is where they were at. So Oklahoma's going to run a little counter into the boundary, right? They're pulling the guard and the fullback's trailing. G-power lead, you could call it that if you want. Watch the linebackers. This linebacker has a TFL if he wants it. Watch where he goes. Look at where this linebacker goes. He doesn't follow the guard at all, but if he cracks backside, he gets there and makes that play, right? I don't want to remember Nebraska this way. I really don't. After Ethan Downs was unblocked and made a tackle for loss, Nebraska has a chance to pick up almost all the yardage they need for a first down, and Casey Thompson just whiffs. If he catches this and turns and runs, this is a 15, 20-yard run, and instead, it's a drop. Not a drop. It's a low throw that's incomplete. So on 3rd and 16, of course, the right thing you do is run it because you have nothing else better to do at this point. And watch Desean White murder the guy pulling. Bam. Do they show a replay of this? They do not. Desean White just almost takes his head off. He is playing out of his mind on Saturday. Look at Nebraska's alignment. Look at this alignment. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. You have no safety on this backside. Pretty good matchup. I like it, Nebraska. I think this is Quentin Newsom on this side, right? Good corner. But you've got no one there. So if they're going to play action you and all your linebackers come up to defend the run, there's no one there. Play's got to be made. So the one thing I really, really like when coaches, they do have time here on the play clock. There's 20 seconds left. Look, they're getting the play call in. Braden Willis, they're moving him over to the other side. But you can tell this stuff, right? So if they're moving Braden Willis to the other side and they're making sure they're in the right position, look at how Nebraska adjusts. They motion back into too high. Drake Stoops is motioning over. There's no one following him. So what Dylan Gabriel knows is that they're in zone coverage, right? And so now Drake Stoops is coming into the boundary as if this safety is playing on Drake Stoops, which he is. All Dylan Gabriel has to do after he has play action is get his eyes on this safety. And if that safety is taking the over route that Braden Willis is running, makes things real easy, right? If he is taking that, he's going this direction, If you want to put Marvin Mims on a post behind because he's coming up, it's wide open. I mean, wasn't rocket science on Saturday. Where's the safety go? With Braden Willis. And you get one-on-one Marvin Mims on a good corner, but Marvin Mims wins. This is a teach tape situation, and I know people have pointed this out, but they had to have known that this was coming, because when you look at the numbers and the way that they played this, I'm actually pretty shocked that this was not a handoff. So Steve Sarkisian does this, right, where he wants you to draw a line. Oh, my Lord. He wants you to draw a line, like right here, right? So if you got 6 guys running this direction, you can get hat on a hat, and you have a free hitter up here, right? Let's say Desean White was closer lined up in here somewhere, right? And say Danny Stutzman was this direction, he was this direction. The math changes. I think this should have been a pre-snap run pass option, but Desean White just blows it up. He sees it, recognizes it from the snap, and goes. However, like I said, if they wanted to run this, could have been a pretty good run. Again, 3rd and 13, just way too much space. Way too much space. So this is a main talking point, and there's a play earlier in the game that this happened to as well. So Brent Venables doesn't have them blitz. So this is just a straight up run defense here, right? One of the things that I have, right, the keys, if we're all kind of watching, right, talking about reading the triangle as a linebacker, right, your triangle, your left guard, center, right guard. I don't know what their keys are, right? However, if your key is the fullback, you still should be going to the right now, right? Well, there's a little indecisiveness, and you see how it takes a second for David Ugwoegbu to get there, and I could have been in the RPO, but this is a straight handoff, right? Boom, he's able to get blocked, and this run takes off. There's a run fit there, just right now. Go. See how he's a little indecisive. He's still on his heels a little bit, and then gets blocked, and this run takes off. This is for this week, right? That's obvious, the obvious concern and competition that they're facing. Look at this play Desean White makes. And Reggie Grimes is just beating up on these guys on this other side. Like, they can't move him, which is just terrible for Nebraska. A double team can't move him. Look at the play Desean White makes. This is really, really good. Here we are again. 1st down and 10. Nebraska's now in a 3 defense that Oklahoma will face. Watch this play side backer. There it is. Pull him up. Throw behind him. Very next play. Same exact thing. Play side backer is following. It's an automatic throw for Dillon Gabriel because he knows his receiver is going to make a play. And he does. And oh, look, it's Tommy Hill they decide to pick on. So Oklahoma gets right to the line of scrimmage right after that play, right? Look at the backer here that Dillon Gabriel's reading. Here he comes. There it is. It's got to be a completed pass. So sometimes when you stunt, it doesn't go your way, right? Watch Nebraska is going to stunt the nose here, the guy that's over the center. He's probably in a 1-tech. He's going to stunt around. And look, they stunted away from the run. And when you get caught, this can happen. Jaren Kanak is playing, and it is awesome. Jaren Kanak is in. This really isn't a bad play at all. I'm just going to kind of walk us through here to the end of the half. Slowly, because I cannot do the second half again. I've done it once. But watch Mr. Kanak. Watch this guy. Bam. Bam. Good player. 3rd and 4. You're going to leave Kanak unblocked. Probably not the best idea. Oklahoma's into a good stunt here. A little simulated pressure, right? They're only going to bring 4, 5, and they showed 6. They do a really good job, and it's forced over, and this thing gets out of hand quickly. And like I said, I'm just going to try to walk you through the rest of it. Said we would see this in the offseason. This is what Iowa State does. They'll motion this tight end in, and they'll just run split zone action, right? Gets to the bends it on the backside and a good run. They go split zone here, do the same thing, but line up Braden Willis in a different spot, and Marcus Major gets almost a first down. This is just really bad. Look at this linebacker. He's in hell. This guy. He even gets there, and look at the angle he's taken, and Marvin Mims is like, I'm going this direction. He looks fantastic early in the season. And it doesn't take much longer for Oklahoma to score. And they just walled this thing off. And it's really sad because they're just going to go Y insert, right? But they chose the B gap on this side. A gap, B gap to attack. He's going to kick out. He's blocking down. He's blocking down. Over. He's blocking down. And they're putting Braden Willis up and getting to him. I mean, it's just the numbers did not work out in Nebraska's favor. Like, your free hitter for Nebraska's 20 yards away from the ball, and then it is not even enough to get it, right? Terrible. And here's the final play from me today. The second half, Oklahoma runs the ball a ton. It's really not, you don't get the best look for either team. And quite frankly, I just even want to throw this first half out because it's just awful. Look at Jaron Kanik here. I mean, man, oh man. A lot to be excited about. Lot to be excited about. So here's this week's film review of Oklahoma, Nebraska. A little treat. So here's what you get from Kansas State. This was against Missouri, and this was early on one of the first drives of their game. They're going to motion Deuce Vaughn out, and they're going to run a little QB counter into the boundary with the center and the Y. And you guys can see, look at the space behind these safeties as they're all committed to the run. It's there. And then they go and run it later in the drive. And they know it. And they know they got it. And there it is. So this is a little bit of what you can expect from Kansas State. Here's some run game action from Kansas State. Look at how confused these linebackers are, right? You've got guys going this direction, and you have the split back going split zone action, right? And so all Adrian Martinez is doing is reading that backer. Oh, he's inside. I'm going to take it and get my 10 yards, right? So this week is going to test Oklahoma's linebackers like they haven't been tested yet. It's going to be very important for them to be disciplined. Here is some other stuff you'll see from them. A little QB lead. And they've got 3 lead blockers out here. Bang, bang, hat on a hat, touchdown, right? Here it is back. There you go. Pin and pull, touchdown. So this was on 3rd down against Missouri. And again, 3rd and short. And they just didn't execute this stuff against Missouri. They damn near didn't about to execute this, right? It's raining. It was tough, but a really good job from them to get this and actually got some good yardage after it too. But this is kind of what their passing game looks like. I mean, it's not going to be complicated, easy stuff that this guy can get done. and they just failed in short yardage situations against Tulane. And the next three are just going to be about Kansas State's defensive line. I mean, they've got grown-ass men playing, and it's going to be super imperative. I mean, watch the right side. This is Felix Anudike Uzoma from Kansas State at the left side. Watch the left side. Watch the left side. First read's not there. You don't have enough time. Here it is again. Watch him over here on the right side this time. Just too powerful. So this is kind of what to expect from Kansas State. And the last one. So that's this week's Oklahoma film review. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I will see you guys next week.